In this English lesson, I wanted to help you learn the English phrase, to dodge a bullet. In English, when you dodge a bullet, it means you avoid something that would have been bad. There are no actual bullets or guns involved, so don't worry about that. But normally in English, if you say that someone dodged a bullet, it means that something bad could have happened to them, but it didn't. A great example of this is something that happened to Jen and I this past weekend. We grow flowers, and they were saying on the news that the temperature at night was going to go down to 0 degrees. As it turned out, the temperature only went down to about 4 or 5 degrees. Not sure if you know this, but at 0 degrees, flowers die. At 4 degrees, they don't die. So we dodged a bullet. There was the potential that something really bad could have happened, but it didn't. So we dodged a bullet. The other phrase I want to teach you today is the phrase magic bullet. Now, the phrase magic bullet is kind of funny because it's not this thing. I'll put a picture up here. There is a blender now that's called a magic bullet. But we also use the phrase magic bullet to talk about a solution that solves all the problems. Here's a great example. Some people wish that a vaccine could be created really quickly for COVID and that vaccine would be the magic bullet. So a magic bullet is something that just solves all of the problems that you are facing in that moment. That's probably the best example I can come up with right now. If all of a sudden there was a vaccine that was 100% effective against COVID and they distributed it to everyone in the world, sometimes I have trouble speaking English too, it would be a magic bullet. So hopefully they find something like that. So once again, when you dodge a bullet, it means you avoid something bad. And a magic bullet is like the perfect solution to a really big problem. Hey, let's look at a comment from a previous video. This comment made me laugh quite a bit. This is from Ario, and Ario says, "I'm sitting here or I'm standing here." So in my last video, I actually used this phrase. I said, "I'm sitting here," and then I went on to continue my thought. And Ario is asking whether I was sitting or standing when I made that video. My response was, it's hard to tell, but I was actually sitting on a stool when I made that video. So most of you probably don't know. So take a moment to guess. Am I standing here right now or am I sitting here right now? Let me give you 3 seconds to think about it. 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm actually sitting. So if you're wondering what a stool is, this is a stool. I often sit on a stool when I am making my videos. Generally, when I make my bigger videos, I walk around and I stand and I'm active. But when I make these short videos, I'm usually sitting on a stool. You may have noticed I also sometimes sit at the picnic table. I also sometimes sit on my bench. Let me show you the bench for a sec. It's over here. So sometimes I sit on the bench. Sometimes I sit on the picnic table. But most of the time, I sit on a stool. I have 2 stools, actually. I have a small blue one as well. Let me try to get the camera back where it was. That's always the tricky thing. When you go for a walk with the camera, it's tricky to get it back in the location where you needed it. So anyways, I'm a little worried because with the temperatures dropping that low, it starts to make you think about winter. I mean, it's only fall right now. Yesterday or 2 days ago was the first day of fall here in Canada. And I think in most of the Northern Hemisphere. But when you start to think about being outside and when it starts to go down to 0 degrees at night, you wonder when will the first snow fly? Because I've had it pretty good. I just go out, make videos. I don't have to worry about the weather right now, but eventually it's going to snow. Hopefully not for 2 or 3 months, but who knows? It could come sooner than we are expecting.